Test. Test. Ah, there we go. What's up and welcome to Sunday Tier 1 here in Zandvoort. We are going to be lights out pretty soon. Racers, per the regulations, have to wait to ready up, and we have to wait to get the race started just to get everyone's setups in there. Rainy race, first rainy race of the season here in the PRL. All right, and here we go. The formation lap has started. Rain expected most of the race. The Alpine of Adri K takes pole. Furzy will be making it tough for him off the line. He'll be starting second. Joe Biodome starting third in the Red Bull. Kobe plays in the Ferrari starting P4. Gibby's 13 in the Red Bull starting P5. Mr. Bean in the Mercedes. He'll be starting alongside him. Ghost Viper, he's in the Williams. He's starting 7th. Balzerga in the Haas starting P8. Jay Story, he's in P9. He's going to have to make up some places. Justin KT 2109 in the Williams starting P10. Your 6th row is going to be a pair of right RBs. Kamagara and Gordsauce starting P11 and P12. Nico, John, and Fierce Line will be starting alongside each other as well as teammates, starting P13 and 14. Rusty Oil Cannon, P15. Greg, 4444 done. P16 in the Mercedes. Reserve driver coming up from Tier 2, Ruin Rogue in the Haas. He's starting P17, typically in a Red Bull in Tier 2. FBI agent in the Alpine starting P18, and another reserve, they call me Dr. J, will be trading in his Tier 2 pink kit for a red one. He's starting for Ferrari today. All right, looks like they're taking the grid, trying to get their grid slots, trying to get lined up. If they go over, they will be sent back to the base of their grid. That just happened there with Kobe plays, who looks like is disqualified. Get them with Ghost Viper. We have 2 disqualifications. Phase 4. Both McLarens are disqualified now. What is going on? And FBI agents disqualified. What is going on? I have never seen this happen before. In my broadcasting debut, I have never seen this before. Oh, they weren't disqualified. I think it just showed up like at that. But the lights are off, the clutch is dropped, and they're going into turn 1 as Adri K gets a great start. Furzy doesn't get as good of a start. Joe Bino goes on the outside of Furzy. He's now going to be P2. Furzy tries to box him out. As they come into the end of Sector 1 here, Gibby gets pushed onto the grass by, looks like there was a little bit of naughty play there. It looks like there's contact all up and down the grid. He's losing places as the race goes on. Adrian K still up ahead in first. He's got Joe Biodome chasing after him as they get into that series of high-speed turns. And it looks like it's settled. Your top three is Audrey K, Joe Biden, Furzy. After we get the first sets of turns and sectors done, the race should be able to settle up and people should be able to focus on strategy. But strategy does tend to go out the window once the track gets wet. Your tire life is now sporadic based on the wetness of the track. Some people can even do a whole race on the same set of inters. I've done it before. Well, the second lap is finishing up as we get into the ultimate corner here. Adri K still hangs on to that lead ahead of Joe Biodome, followed by Furzy. Less than a second separates top four. It's going to be quite the battle here. Rain should stay consistent. If it does dry up, then they're going to have to make the call. Do they go to the slicks? Do they not? And it looks like Joe Biodome goes into the turn 3 there, tries to take a peek down there on Adri K. No, nothing doing there. And guy gets a hint of oversteer there as well. Coming into turn 6 and turn 6, 7, and 8. Now they're heading towards what would be a DRS straight if it was dry. DRS is not active in wet conditions, so that is not a factor. Adri K probably would have been more vulnerable had there been DRS, but he's done a great job keeping the lead here. As they come into the final bank turn of lap 3, it stays the same in the top 2, but in the top 4, Furzy and Mr. Bean switch places. Furzy, the URA world champion. There's not a day that this kid doesn't race. The 18-year-old from Italy, Luca Furzy, in the Aston Martin, is first in the standings, but don't know if that's going to stay the same as he keeps form. Always struggles in the wet, this kid. Always struggles in the wet. Let's go back up top here. Adri K carving out 0.5 of a lead, but Mr. Bean is taking a look down up on the inside on Joe Biodome, and it looks like he's gonna complete that overtake. He will get him in turn 7 as they come into turn 8. And Joe Biodome will lose second place to Mr. Bean as Adri K still sits pretty in first in his Alpine. It's Furzy closing in on the gap to Joe Biodome. This could be a tough lap for Joe. The track with time is getting faster because there is a dry line starting to show up. But looks like Furzy is struggling. He was 5/10 down from Joe a few corners ago. Now that gap is now almost to 2 seconds as Joe Biden tries to make up spots on Mr. Bean, but Mr. Bean's going to try to take the lead of this race. Adrian K gets hit with oversteer. There's a lot of slippage. Mr. Bean gets better grip out of turn 1, and he'll take the lead. He'll be the new leader of the Dutch Grand Prix. Ronan Rogue down in 18th. He is going to get hit with the 3-second time penalty, so he is net last after that penalty gets applied. Mr. Bean, who drives a McLaren F1 in real life, the character who played by Rowan Atkinson, not this driver, driving a Mercedes virtually. And Mr. Bean, after overtaking, has just flown off into the distance against Adrian K. And Adrian K is now going to have to start fighting for his life because he's got Joe Byam looking to reclaim his second place. They'll come around the bank corner. Typically, a quick jab of the brakes to shift down to 5th gear, and that's usually what does it here. Wet conditions, not the case. As Furzy will take the fastest lap, as he is actually coming up onto the pack of the 2nd and 3rd place runners, as Adrian K, Furzy, Joe Biden, they're all fighting each other. Adrian K, Joe Bidome, and Furzy is what the order is now. Will it be like that at the end of this lap? Who knows? Here they come now in that small straight as they keep it into 7th, going through each turn individually. These are crucial corners. You have a pack catching up with them too. That includes the Ferrari of Kobe Pace, Gibbies, Boswerga. Furzy is going to stay in the slipstream of Joe Biodome and Adrian K. Meanwhile, Mr. Bean, 2 seconds clear. There is an overtaking zone that's going to be coming up here. Will one of them get risky? Will one of them run it up the inside? So far, no. Now they're heading down towards the chicane. Everyone well behaved then. And now they're heading towards the banking. The infamous banking of turn 14. They all stay within form. Taking a look at what's going on behind. Gibbies, who was pushed off earlier in this race on the first lap, is making up some time. Now 2 seconds behind Furzy, 5 seconds behind the leader. He's going to be trying to claw back and try to get back into contention for a podium. Ghost Viper and Jay Story are going at it right now. Story just lost a place to Ghost Viper. A fierce line and Nico John getting into it in Baku with his teammate, reserve driver Uno Senko. Fuck that guy, right? Now let's take it back to the top of the order here. Mr. Bean, 3.5 seconds he's carved into the Alpine. He is definitely sitting pretty. At the point of the race where you're going to think, do I go one stop? Do I go two stop? Do I go no stop? It can happen. It is within the bounds of Formula One under wet condition is to stay in on those inters all race if you so choose. However, once a dry line shows up, that track surface gets drier that you're driving on. Once that track surface gets drier, it gets hotter. Once it gets hotter, those tires start to degrade. So I doubt anyone's going to go for that zero stop. But I definitely, if I'm Mr. Bean, 4.3 seconds clear of the field, I'm probably thinking, let's do a one stop. Let's minimize the risk you take going in and out of the pit lane, minimize the risk of getting a 10-second penalty, minimize the risk of getting a penalty leaving the pit lane, minimize the risk of having a slow stop. The Alpine, Adrike, still in the train. That includes Joe Bidome and Furzy. This has been consistent throughout the whole race. They've switched places. They have stayed within each other's DRS, which does not exist in wet conditions. Mr. Bean, once again, fastest lap, 1:24, I believe it was. Furzy once again looking down the inside of Joe Bidome, looking for a safe pass. Adrike still sitting pretty up at top. And Mr. Bean, with a battle going on behind him, has now carved 5.3 seconds into that lead going into lap on lap 9. And then behind Furzy, Gibbs, that was behind by about 2.1 seconds, is slowly catching up as Adrike, Joe Bidome, and Furzy battle it out. Mr. Bean pulls away, and then the pack starts to catch up with them. That gap's down to 1.5 seconds at this point. Mr. Bean, a 1:26 banger lap. Riding on board with Gibby's here, going to take into turn 1. Qualified P5, still P5. And Gibby's underfueled here. He's actually has that fuel light on, which basically indicates you will not have enough fuel to finish the race unless you do some lifting and coasting. In the rain, easier to save fuel because you aren't going full throttle like you do on a dry racetrack. However, you also don't have aids that save you fuel, like DRS. When your drag reduction system doesn't open up, which doesn't reduce drag on the car, which doesn't save fuel. But despite all that, Gibby's is still making great ground on Furzy, Bidome, and Adrike. But let's go to the trio that we've been following all race. Adrike, keeping it in 4th, 5th, taking it flat out. After feathering the throttle to get the grip on the tires, he will take it full throttle, going down to the start-finish straight. Keeps it on the outside, goes down to 3rd, 2nd, 3rd again. He's going to feather that throttle. These cars do not have traction control, and I don't believe Adrike uses it. So taking it carefully through this section of corners. Any wrong move, and he'll lose 2 places instantly because Joe Bidome and Furzy are breathing down his neck, looking to gain places. Mr. Bean, 7 seconds ahead, using this battle to his advantage. And looks like we got a yellow flag in Sector 3. Looks like Rusty Oil Can is off. We'll have to see if the safety car comes out. Don't think it will, but Rusty Oil Can won't be finishing this race. It looks like he retired in the pit lane, which is within the rules, and the Salvers night will be over. It doesn't appear the safety car is going to come out. No overtaking in the sector affected. as we hop back onto the Alpine of Audrey K. Audrey K. 2/10 is the gap between him and Joe Biadome. Run and Roga, another 3-second penalty. Might be having lagging issues once again. Well, this being round 4 of the PRL season for Sunday Tier 1 championship standings will have an impact. If Mr. Bean can hang on to this lead, getting his points, which I don't even know how the points work here. But he is in third now. Fursey's in first. Fursey, if he finishes this race 4th and Mr. Bean stays first, we may have a new championship leader. I don't know how the points go, but hey. But when it comes to the championship leader currently, Mr. Luca Fursey in the Aston Martin, who is being closed down on by Gibby's 13. The rain can be his kryptonite. Has historically not performed well in the wet. Has won 2 of the last 4 races this season after a DNF in Abu Dhabi and a P2 in the United States. He had a controversial race win in Baku, had a great race win in Australia where he did not listen to his race engineer and went with his own strategy. He walked away with P1 on that. And then Joe Biden just overtook Audrey K. It looks like Audrey K went off, and looks like Luca Fursey's going to try to take advantage of that as they hop down into sector 2. Audrey K starting to lose composure here as the former pole sitter is going to hold it against Fursey. Joe Biadome now 10 seconds behind the leader almost, as Mr. Bean 2024 is once again just going on a nice dreary Sunday drive with his Lewis Hamilton looking crash helmet in yellow. Looks like teammates have swapped positions. Justin KT2109 and Ghost Viper have switched positions as they're under pressure by Jay Story, who is in P12 after being in P8 for quite a bit. I'm wondering, did he pit? He didn't. Only pit stop we've had so far is our teammate, our leader's teammate, Craig 4444 Dunn, Mr. Craig Dunn, who has come in for a new fresh of inners, maybe changing his swing. Hopping to the back to the top of the leaderboard here. Joe Bidome is actually making up. Joe Bidome's actually making up a little bit of time on the race leader, Mr. Bean. I can't see fastest lap or last lap because that's not really how this works, I guess. But yeah. And Fursey overtakes Audrey K. in masterful fashion, okay, into the chicane. Oh, Audrey TK gets a little bit of slippage. I wonder if he's having tire wear because Gibbies is now looking to make a move on him. Furzy pulls away. Gibbies is right on the gearbox of that Alpine. The French manufactured car is starting to face a little bit of trouble. Well, 2.3 seconds is the gap. He weaves to break the slipstream. You're only allowed one move per straight when it comes to that. He comes down into turn 1, into turn 2, still ahead of the Red Bull. Turn 3, turn 4. All very clean. They go into the slow left-hander of turn 5 where you really are at pretty much the max banking that you'll see on this track. And it looks like he has actually broken comfortably clear of Gibbies, who is 1.2 seconds behind, and ahead of him, Furzy, 1.4 seconds ahead of Audrey K, and Joe Biden 1.7 seconds behind Furzy, and Mr. Bean clear at the... Oh no, what happened? There's a yellow flag that just got flown, and I believe it's Ruin Rogue. He was in that vicinity of where the track was. Over that. Oh, yeah, and looks like he's going to pit. Is this it? Is this it for Ruin Rogue? Or is this a... very quick pit stop, 2.2 seconds by the American pit crew. And the Haas, who's about to get lapped by his teammate in P6, will come back out. All right, let's take a look at the midfield. There is still points up for grabs here. FBI agent and Ghost Viper have exchanged blows. Nico John slowly behind him. Jay Story in the Aston Martin behind him, and Fierce Lion, Nico's teammate, is the caboose of that train. Ghost Viper coming around into the series of turns. Nico John is trying to make a pass on him. Is it going to stay? They touch a little bit. Is it going to stay? They come around. Nico John loses traction. And now Jay Story's going to sneak in on him. Behind Jay Story, Fierce Lion is going to try to pass him. He loses traction. Who is that? I don't know. Jay Story is now coming back on Nico John, trying to attack him. Ghost Viper will be leading that pack in P12. Lots of action all around the track here in Zandvoort. Another 3-second penalty for Ruin Rogue. Well, here come a series of pit stops. Joe Byam, who is in that lead pack, he's going to come in. He comes out in P5. Gord Sauce and Justin K, they will get onto a new fresh set of rubber. Mr. Bean still in first place. And after Adri K and Joe Byam went in for their pit stops, championship leader Luca Furzy is in first place, and we have a yellow flag. Is this it? Is this it for Ruin Rogue? Looks like that time penalty was one too many for the American. Oh, no, looks like he was just letting blue flags, the blue flag runners through. Hey, I've been there. Oh, and here comes the championship leader, gonna come in. He's gonna come in into the pit box, the Mercedes pit box, usually the third or fourth one in. And this is him leaving the pit lane. I guess I'm really late on these pit stops, trying to toggle them up. And Mr. Bean, who is the net leader of the race, will come out on fresh tires here in lap 19. Luca Furzi is now your race leader, championship leader, and race leader. Gibby is right behind him. And then we have another caution. Oh, we have a DNF. It's Ghost Viper. Something happened. I don't know. I'm gonna see if it looks like they retired in the pit lane, so that shouldn't cause a safety car. I think we're good there. And the Williams of Ghost Viper, SRK. SRK must mean shall retire quickly with a K. Luca Furzi is now coming into the pits. He will now relinquish the race lead. Gibby will stay out one lap longer. Ideally, that's the move. You want to be the last. If you can maintain the pace, you want to be the last one to pit because you want to have the biggest chance of being saved by a safety car. Here in Zandvoort, if the safety car comes out, to pit here in Zandvoort, you lose about 18.5 seconds. When a safety car comes out, you lose about half that because the delta goes down. The cars that are catching you are moving more slowly. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. We've had 2 retirements already in Rusty Can and Ghost Viper SRK. And looks like we have the last bit of pits coming in now as Tim Gra comes out, FBI agent, and Fierce Lion. And that midfield pack that was battling earlier, they can get back on it on a fresh pair of inters. Gibby's still out there. Now you can tell the tire advantage is coming in on Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean with the fresher rubber is going to be able to catch and most likely pass Gibby's at this point. If I'm Gibby's, yes, there you go. Gibby's comes into the pits, doesn't want to give Mr. Bean his slipstream, wants to get off that old set, and wants to finish out the race on some fresh rubber. As the last set of pit stops come to fruition, looks like we'll be able to kind of take a look and see what the true positions of these cars are. And it's Mr. Bean, Joe Biome, and Furzy's your podium. Audrey K, who was the pole sitter and did a pretty decent job at holding that first place for a while until Mr. Bean from P5 came and overtook him. He was holding his own there, but he has lacked the pace lately. Pretty sure I rear-ended him on a safety car once. Sorry about that. You're doing great, kid. All right, Mr. Bean now 12 seconds ahead in the lead. It's gonna take something really unlucky or a miracle for anyone other than him to take this one home. His skid plate should be 9 millimeters thick. Joe Biome is actually getting challenged by Furzy. Furzy on fresh rubber. He pitted later than Joe Biome, and it looks like going into turn 1. Oh, it's not going to have, isn't close enough, but it maintains great traction into turns 2 and 3. Still right on the gearbox of the Austrian-made Red Bull as they come into that slow, high banking of turn 5. And now they get into sets. We have another yellow flag. And it looks like it's just our blue flag responder, probably DJ or someone of the sort. Furzy, right now, looking to get back his P2. And he comes out. He's going to come on the outside of him. And he tries to switch. He'll switch back into the inside. Bono goes deep. Here goes Furzy. Furzy's P2. And now he leads the charge to try to relinquish this race lead for Mr. Bean. 15 seconds. 15 seconds behind. 14 laps to go. 15 including this one. Does Percy have the pace to try to make this a little uncomfy for Mr. Bean? Joe Biome now falling back. He didn't have the fresh rubber. He doesn't have DRS. He's been 4/10 behind. Percy, the Italian's gonna say, ciao. Yeah, I don't see Mr. Bidome. I don't see him challenging, but you never know what can happen. It seems like at least for the points position, this is the only 8, 9, 10ths. This is for all the points position, this is the closest battle, and this battle is getting a lot farther apart as first he takes off in his Aston Martin and makes a trek for Mr. Bean. Let's see if this is gonna be let's see if there gets a little battle here for P1. Bursey, very aggressive driver, no stranger to the steward's office, I'll tell you that. Fierce Lion, 3-second time penalty, which he was in that battle in the midfield with the other Aston Martin, the Merc, and his teammate Nico John. That 3-second penalty definitely isn't going to help when it's so close down in that part of the track. Luca, a 1:19.2. Oh, we have another yellow flag. That most likely is going to be Ruin Rogue with his massive penalty. Oh, and that's not it for Ruin Rogue. He's just letting his blue flags come by. I think he's like 2 laps behind at this point because last I checked on him, he let his teammate by under blue flags, and his teammate is now coming back up. FBI agent has left the session, so it looks like we might be... Yeah, we have a ghosted FBI agent. He will be, per the rules, if he can't get back in there, if he can't get back into the lobby, it looks like he will be disqualified, which give Nico John the last points position should they stay this way. FBI agent who, if he was a real FBI agent, I don't think he would advertise it. I'm pretty sure they're kind of very secure. Maybe a little bit of stolen valor. That's not for me to judge. But we have 12 laps left. Luca Furzi has carved a second into the lead on this man, our leader, Mr. Bean 2024. He has put on a bang-on race, a banger of a race. He's started P5, made up a lot of positions, and by lap 4, he was leading the race here. Ruin Rogue, another 3-second penalty. He's probably close to disqualification at this point. There is no one in the field that's within a second of the person ahead of them. Our race leader's teammate, Craig Dunn, he's going to get on to another set of inters. And I wonder how long, was that his first stop? Let's see here, pit stop, boom. Craig Dunn, oh, so he went in on lap 12, so he's trying to do the 2-stop. Yeah, tap 12 and then 24. And then Justin TK, he had to fix his front wing. And that's the only time we had to fix the front wing there, just tonight. And Mr. Bean is once again just off into the distance. Spursy was able to get that gap down to 14.0 seconds. However, it's kind of going back up towards 15. That's Mr. Bean. But Joe Baya, don't remember him. He's now 1.2 seconds behind Furzy, so there's going to be some shuffling going on at the podium here as Joe Biadome breaks it down, keeps it down to almost a second as they go into the chicane into the penultimate corner, the fast banked final corner of this historic racetrack. But he also has trouble on the exit. Let's take a look down at there's a teammate battle going on here. Gortos and Tim Gra. They are half second off each other. Don't know if team orders are in effect here. They may be. We have another caution. That is Rune Rogue letting by another car. Looks like... Oh, no, he isn't. No, he let by... He actually might have been letting by Adrian K. I'm not 100% sure. Nine laps to go. A masterful drive by Mr. Bean. Finding that grip in wet conditions is truly a talent. It's a talent that Senna was good at. It's a talent that Verstappen is amazing at. Mr. Bean as well, as he's let by the Williams of Justin TK. Justin KT, excuse me. If I pronounce you guys' name wrong, I apologize. I'm new and I wasn't able to do this until like 30 seconds beforehand because I couldn't figure out why my mic wasn't working. But unfortunately for you guys, it is working as we have another yellow flag. And oh no, this might be... We might have an issue here. Fierce Lion is stopped on track, but why? He's got a box. I didn't see what happened. Oh, well, he ghosted there, so is he? Yes, looks like Fierce Lion is going to DNF out of the race. Yeah, it looks like the pit crew's taking off and putting on the front wing. That's what the AI will do if you have a moment. And it looks like, yeah. Now watch this though. We have a Gibby in the pit because of how the AI is. Okay, it's cool. So a lot of times when the AI will, when you retire from a race before your pit box, your AI will box. Once it boxes and you disconnect from the game, AI will take you out, but then retire you from the race. It'll take you out of the pit lane, but stop you in the middle of the pit box. A lot of times, if you are a human car, like Gibby's is right here, going for his second stop here in Zandvoort, if you come out of the pit lane and that ghosted DNF car is there, it will stop you for 30 seconds. It happened in Vegas to me and my McLaren, and I was afraid that my friend Gibby Z13, who's driving under number 2, it looks like, there was a chance he was going to do that, and it looks like he's doing a good piece of strategery here. It looks like that didn't affect him. So good for him. The teammate pairing of the Toro Rossos, formerly known as, are still keeping in formation. Gord Sauce followed by Tim Graw. But the Ferrari of Kobe Plies in his special Ferrari livery that they had out for the Italian Grand Prix, he is following close behind. Just checking in our race leader, though. Mr. Bean, 14.5 seconds seems to be what the mean distance is between him and second place Furzy, who... Oh, they're off topic, though. It looks like Ruin Rogue was giving away a piece of front wing there, and yeah, he doesn't have an end plate. A miserable afternoon for Ruin Rogue. Has just gotten a little worse as he is now without a left-handed end plate. He is without his driver's side end plate. Well, I mean, it's an F1 car, it's single-seater, so I guess there is no driver's side per se. Every side's a driver's side. Mr. DJ, he is actually cracking down on Craig Dunn, who's pitted twice today. He's within 1.5 seconds. Ruin Rogue, another time penalty. For a wet race in Zandvoort, not many time penalties. The only people with time penalties are Gord Sauce and Ruin Rogue. As we have a caution in Sector 2. That's probably a blue flag runner. Yes, it is. 5 laps left. Furzy, 13.5 seconds, but... Going back to, there is a battle for the final final podium position. Audrey K and Joe Abayadome seem to be battling it out. And it looks like he's 7/10 behind him. He has the slipstream. There's no DRS in wet conditions. There's something interesting brewing here. Going into turn 1, he gets a little deep there. You want to be as close. When you're coming into turn 1 here, you want to be as close to that curbing, almost touching that curbing as possible. Same thing with this turn here. You want a quick jab of the brakes. In dry conditions, you'd be in third. Here, in wet conditions, you take it to second just to turn the car, just to get that rotation that you need off of it. Then you come into a series of corners. Once again, the adjustment we have between wet and dry. You're usually taking these in 7th. Now you take them in 6th. And then this still fast right-hander that we just went through at turn to 11 or 12, you're usually dropping it down to 6. You're in 5th. Here we are, a series of slow-moving right-handers, then left-handers in here, and then what would be a DRS straight leading up to the chicane. Once you hit that 100-meter mark, you want to slam on those brakes, and ooh! Audrey K sliding there, but controls the car very well. He's one of the best to do it in the business. As they come into the penultimate corner and the final corner here at the bank to final turn, trying to get any bit of help he can in terms of slipstream. His tires are getting up there in age. I want to say he is, 15 lap old tires. They are the old, as you can see, the oldest tires on the grid. But they are no older than Joe Bayadome's tires. So they are on equal footing there. So Audrey K, once again, hunting down Joe Bayadome for the final podium position. Audrey K is in 5th place. Joe Bayadome is, I don't know where he is because I don't see him on the standings, so he must be a reserve actually. Good for him. He is actually, I think both Ferraris are, because I don't see Gibby's on here either. So between Joe Baydome and Gibby's, 2 reserve drivers, actually doing pretty decent. But that gap is down to 5/10. So let's see if he can get a great exit out of here, he will have a chance to overtake him. Another caution, Sector 1. Looks like it's Ruin Rogue again. most likely. And then it is a little too late. However, Furzy and Mr. Bean, that gap's down to 9.5 seconds. Furzy, 1 lap newer old tires than Mr. Bean, who's in first place. However, 3 laps, even Luca Furzy can't carve 3 seconds per lap into a race leader that's driving the way Mr. Bean is driving. Or can he? 8.5 seconds. We have 2 laps after this one left. Audrey K is now falling behind a little bit on Joe Bidome. But going back down towards the field a little bit, the battle for 7th is actually heating up as we got Kobe Plays in the Ferrari behind Tim Graw, who is behind his teammate 4/10. There might be a little play here. Once again, I don't know how the points work here, but if Kobe Plays can get by the RB, we may have he may be able to get more points than he would if he stayed put. And we're getting into the final corner here for them. Let's get into turn 1. Both take it pretty well. Not as close to the corner as I would have taken it, but that's okay. And then, makes up a lot of ground here. Let's see. And he's going to go alongside him into that other hairpin with a fake turn. And then Tim Graw is going to actually hold it really well. And Chloe Plays another. We talked about this earlier. Low on gas. He is harvesting his battery, but when you harvest your battery, you use more fuel. That's how it works. So he might have to go into low fuel mode here. Battles going on here at the end of the race. Luca Furzy was able to cut it down to 7 seconds, but that won't do much here for our race leader, Mr. Bean, who has driven masterfully all race. He has adapted to conditions, got the strategy perfect, knew when to pit, knew how to adjust to the changing conditions here, and the fruits of his labor are going to be shown as we get into the last bit of the final lap for Mr. Bean. Great drive by him today as he heads down to the final DRS straight. No, he isn't. He's heading towards the chicane. Oh, yeah, that is the DRS straight. As he heads to the chicane. And he will head into the final banked corner. The 100% distance race in Austin was won by him. He's gonna make it 2 in a row and make that championship gap a little less for Furzy as Mr. Bean wins the Sunday Tier 1 TRL Dutch Grand Prix. A great race from the Merc. And we'll take a look down as we're finishing up. Gibby and Tim Graw are still battling. Kobe Pines was battling him a couple laps ago, but it looks like Gibby's, who's on fresh rubber, he pitted twice today. I didn't see the checker flag come. Tim Graw's left the session, and that's it. Mr. Bean 2024, take a bow. You are DRL. Well, thank you for having me this afternoon. I'm Corey Anayat, Uno Cinco. We'll catch you next week as we head to Brazil. Should be quite an eventful race here at the PRL.